Welcome to Fortuna's Events podcast series, where we engage in dynamic conversations with the pioneers, experts, and change makers driving progress across industries. In each episode, we explore how cutting-edge innovations, strategic approaches, and emerging trends are reshaping the future of businesses. Our goal is to offer fresh insights into the evolving challenges and opportunities that professionals face today.
Hi, and
Hi, good morning,
good
Dr.
day
Pat.
to everyone who will be watching this.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your time. You've had such an impressive career in HR, from leading global HR strategies to being passionate about mental wellness. I can't wait to dive into your thoughts or your insights regarding this. HR wasn't always seen as something that's strategic and powerhouse as it is today, right? I'm sure, like decades ago, it was often seen as more of administrative function. Because ako, personally, when I was starting first job, ang naalala ko lang with HR, it's something you go to kapag, you need your leaves to be approved. You have like something in problem like with the company and stuff. So, ganun lang ang pagkakaalala ko when it comes to HR. So, what do you think caused this transformation?
Um, yeah, back in the days when I started my career as an HR assistant, recruitment assistant, ang pangalan ng department is personnel assistant. Pangalan pa lang di ba? Personnel assistant. Which means we are responsible for hiring, making sure that sumisweldo kayo, importante yon, timekeeping. I remember back in the days when there was no digital timekeeping, and so there were cards that I had to check one by one because of the Bondi clock,
Yeah,
those
so
mundane tasks. Yung ganon. Tapos, I worked also in a company, there was one point in my life, I worked in a manufacturing company, and talagang dinadaya pa nila ng mga empleyado yun. Nilalagyan nila ng asin yung Bondi clock para hindi malaman that they had a long break or long lunch. Kasi imagine mo pati yung 15 minutes breaks, mag-in out ka pa, di ba? So, that's how I would say it really started. HR was seen to be the assistant of the personnel department, meaning kayo ang in charge of parties, kayong in charge of making sure that sumisweldo, kayo ang police, ganyan. Meron pa rin naman yon. I would say that those things are still part of human resources kasi you can never become a partner if you can't even provide the basics. So, yung basic needs na yan sa hierarchy is kailangan abutin mo muna yan bago ka maging, the ladder moving up as a critical partner. And I'd like to see marami pang ganyan organizations until now.
Yes, totoo po yan.
Being a thought leader in my field, I speak to a lot of HR. I conduct a lot of HR self-care practices because of wellness, right? And one of the stressors of HR is because hindi sila umaangat dun sa ginagawa nila. Day in, day out,
It's
it
the
is
same
what it
thing.
is.
Ulit-ulit.
The same thing. Kasi parang pagdating mo sa office, asikasuhin mo yung admin. As simple as may supplies ba? Mayroon bang mga gamit sa loob ng CR? Alam mo yun, HR gumagawa niyan nung pandemic. Akong namimili sa SNR mismo. Ako mismo using my credit card and all that. Kasi walang gagawa nun kasi nga it's still part of the role of HR. So, hindi mo pwedeng ibigay yan just ordinarily or i-outsource mo kasi it also consists of resources. May pera yan, may budget yan. So, hindi mo matatanggal yung admin part na yon. Now, I like your question na how it evolved.
Yeah.
I think evolvement is very subjective. Not companies evolve. Sadly, there are still companies that are in that personnel department level. For me, the ultimate level is that HR wins a seat strategically in the board, deciding and being part of strategic alignment with the business of how to get from point A to point B. That's the ultimate goal. And that's, I think, a big challenge to a lot of HR to get to that goal. So, a lot of companies, lip service lang na nagbago yung title nila na, HR department or head of HR. And then may times pa yung title of head of HR nagiging head of people and culture. 'Di ba? So nag-iiba
Yes,
siya.
totoo.
Pero
But
sa
it's the
akin,
same, pretty much the same. What they're doing.
irrelevant for me unless you change the role of HR to be sitting in terms of business people and having that opportunity to voice out. How do you make people happy? How do you retain people? How do you attract people to be part of your organization? Hindi just because you need a warm body to fill in a role. We have a lot more to be strategic in those ways in order for us to get the right resources, because after all, the number one resource in any organization is people. Hindi AI, hindi yung computer, hindi yung technology,
Oo.
hindi yung high-end mong office. And ngayon, everybody still, marami tayong, like in my company, we work from home most of the time. So for me, the highlight is HR needs to be that psychologist, that party planner, that financier, that counselor still, but they also need to become strategic partners. So it's the ideal situation, but truthfully and honestly, not a lot of companies are in that level. I would say probably around 60-40. 60 are there, 40 are struggling to win the seat in that space to become a strategic partner.
So, saying that, do you think na merong effect or, kumbaga, role also, that technology and analytics here to, like, para sa improvement and all, or is it like a big factor or hindi naman?
For me, because I've seen the trends all throughout these years, and I also talk about AI. I also will be developing programs, AI for HR, which will be launched next year. I'm partnering with this company who got me to talk about AI for HR, right? I think that we need to leverage on technology nowadays. For example, as simple as computing the timekeeping process, making sure it's accurate. Of course, gone are the days of doing it manually with your ball pen and checking it one by one, as I've said. But we've been using AI as early as maybe 15 years, 20 years ago, when a lot of companies would say, you can just put your biometrics, your fingerprints, or your iris, and then they could already put in, or even on your computer, the moment that they feel that you're already working, they know. Scary that they're monitoring that you're actually working. No, there's a way for doing so. I think that companies should be investing on this technology to lessen the burden of HR on those mundane tasks. As simple as you're going to ask me to do a certificate of employment because you need it, let's say, for example, for your interview for your visa. Now, I like technology because everything can become self-service. You can just raise a ticket, and then the following day, or within 24 hours, someone from HR will see the ticket that you need this. Immediately, you can already print it on your own wherever you are, whether you're at home or whatnot. So I feel that HR should leverage on technology, and likewise, technology should be your partner in order for us to focus on the more important tasks. Important tasks for me are focusing on people strategies, on mental well-being, on improving systems and processes, while the technology will take care of other tasks that are automatically can be done. Now, you asked me about analytics. I did have the chance to learn analytics during the pandemic, and ang daming magagawa ng analytics eh. Hindi ka nasuntok sa buwan pag gagawa ka ng activities. So, give you an example. Nung pandemic, I partnered with an AI which was in charge of checking the mental well-being of my employees. So, nung first part of the pandemic, I was asking other leaders check in with your people every single day, or ako mismo nag-check. And ang hirap, ang dami. We were all scattered everywhere. People were already working in the provinces. May mga pumunta na rin ng US. And so, because of AI, my analytics was easy to track. On a daily basis, all they need to do was log in on that AI called Amara, by the way. And then, immediately, how are you today, 1 to 10? Makikita ko how they are. And then, nakikita ko, okay, ang grupo ng creatives ang pinaka-stressed or pinaka-affected. What kind of program should I be doing? And then, monthly, dun ko na de-design ang programs. Analytics is a tool for me to make programs that are deliberate, crafted, custom-made, and not just because it's the buzzword that I will be doing it. So these analytics that you get in recruitment on how to be able to get the right candidate and match it with the culture of the organization, or as simple as complex as measuring the mental health of your people. You use certain technology, and you get this gold of wealth of data, which you will be using in order for you to find the right intervention, to find the right project, to decide the right initiative at a given time, without having to waste so much resources.
And as HR continues to evolve, right, mental wellness is also emerging as a key focus. So let's talk about why this matters so much. You've been a strong advocate for mental wellness also in the workplace. Why do you think it is so critical in today's business environment?
First and foremost, as a human being, our motivation and productivity is dependent on our well-being. So, unlike machines that they just automatically can receive data, for example, tayo meron different things and factors to consider. To become productive, you have to be skilled. But when you track back, kahit anong galing mo, pero kung wala kang motivation, kung wala ka sa mood, kung stressed ka, burnout ka, galit ka sa kultura ng kumpanya nyo, quiet quitter ka, 'di ba? Then you will not be able to bring your company to the level that they probably would want it to be, because after all, companies would like to reach their business goals. And for me, mental health should be the first in your people strategy. It should be part of the pillar that you should be establishing year on year, and be allotting resources for that matter. When I started to create mental wealth programs way before the pandemic, because I was working in an advertising agency, alam mo naman, pag advertising, highly stressful environment yan. And then you are, sabi nga nila, in the industry of rejection. Maraming when you're in sales, you're in the industry of rejection. Mas maraming rejections kesa wins, 'di ba? Pag nakachamba ka naman na mataas na, or mayaman, or maraming resources na kumpanya, then iba ang mga company.
Yeah.
So, I decided to create an initiative na Mind Your Mind. For me, first step mo dyan is awareness. Second thing is that even before awareness, kailangan nyo munang i-remove yung stigma. Kasi yan ang problema natin, not only in the Philippines, but worldwide, no? So, very prevalent ang stigma. People don't want to talk about mental health because they don't want to be associated lacking strength, or being a loser, or being labeled as certain names because of our stigma about mental health.
Yes.
'Di ba? Ang tingin natin sa kailangan ng tulong ay yung mga homeless. Ayaw natin ma-associated sa ganun.
Yeah,
So,
homeless.
people don't want to talk about it. And I want to highlight lalo na ang mga lalaki. Ayaw nilang aminin that they need help. At least tayo mga babae, we can be emotional, accepted the
Yes.
society natin na maging iyakin tayo. Pero pag ang lalaki, ang sukatan ng kanilang kalakasan
Yeah.
at
Pagiging
kagalingan
lalaki.
ay not being able to show any emotions and being strong. And that has been my mission, no? Na whatever gender you relate to, you have to be able to remove the stigma, and stigma starts with yourself. The moment you start to admit that you're a human being, that you have emotions, that you can have the tendency to have your motivation up and down. These are all part of mental well-being. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are sick or you are
Yeah.
going through a mental health condition, but these are all normal conditions that we go through, the ups and
And
downs.
it's valid, right? If you're like
Ay, it's
thinking,
valid, especially kung wari namatayan ka. Alam nga naman, papapasukin mo yung tao because
yeah,
meron
syempre
tayong
you need time
presentation
to
sa
mourn.
client. Diba? So, importante for me na mental health for leaders, nagsastart sa kanila yan. Paano sila makaka-motivate ng tao nila kung sila mismo ay maraming pinagdadaan? Yung second part ng program ko about mental health is self-care practices muna, number one. The second is, how do you become mental health first aiders? Kasi unang-una mo makakausap, boss mo eh. Pagdating sa, boss, gusto ko na mag-quit. Lalo na ngayon, Gen Z, they really need help when it comes to deciding na ayaw na nila kasi pinagalitan sila, madali sila mag-quit. Kasi malakas ang loob nila, ang mga Gen X mommies nila like me, andyan kami to help our kids, no? So I'm just being realistic about this, real talk. So kailangan talaga ng mental health programs, particularly on self-care, coaching programs or counseling programs, and likewise holistic. Kasi wellness is not only mental but also yung physical well-being. Lahat yan. Kung kulang ka sa tulog, ang hirap magtrabaho. Kung nag-work ka sa panggabi, paano mo i-manage yung self-care practices mo na meron ka pang energy to work at night. So especially like ako, I work mid-shift, no? May mga times that I would be sleeping very late na or early morning. And I practice what I preach. Kailangan buo ang tulog mo. Otherwise, paano ka magiging productive, magiging apektado din pati yung mood mo pagdating doon. So, importante for me because may direct correlation ng mental health, wellness sa productivity to happiness, happiness to also reaching the business objective. So, talagang domino effect siya.
So also, we've talked about hybrid models and the like. So hybrid work has added another layer of complexity, right? Lalo na nung pandemic and all. How do you ensure transparency and accountability? So like, especially in situations like yung mga trust would be tested. Like for example, yung mga leave of absence, yung applying na, yung mga ganon. Di ba usually, alam mo naman sa Filipinos are, dinadaya yung mga ganon. So,
Oo, yeah,
how do you do that? How do you go about that?
I think number one is napakaganda ngayon, di ba? What pandemic has taught us that we can work from home pala.
Yes.
For some industries, Of course, except the manufacturing, unless meron kang manufacturing company sa bahay mo.
Meron ka machine dyan.
May mga machine dyan para gumawa ka ng plastics
Iuwi mo
or
yan.
whatnot. But kidding aside, the hybrid model kasi has been established to become effective. Na pwede pala that you can be able to manage work from home. But in the same manner, you have to ensure that nagagawa din nila yung trabaho nila. So for hybrid model or organization, if you're maintaining that or if you're looking into that, because employees or mga recruits, mas gusto nila hybrid. In fact, ang dami nag-resign, di ba, nung back to work na. Marami nag-resign because of that. Nung sabi nilang, oy, balik na kayo sa office, 5 times a week na tayo. Maraming naghanap ng trabaho na work from home. Kasi ang dami mong kalaban ngayon. Maraming mga virtual assistance opportunity that they earn a lot working from home or working from anywhere in a beach, in Boracay, in Palawan. Yan ang kalaban mo. And they are able to earn a lot of dollars
Yes.
because of that situation. Because hybrid or hindi hybrid, work from home permanent siya. Ako, importante, pag hybrid model is you have policies that will also support this model. It's not for everyone, I want to say. Hindi siya for everyone. If in my company, hybrid kami, 80% of the time we work from home. So, we want to make sure that people are doing their part because we have policies and procedures to ensure that they sign up for this and they need to follow. As an employee, dapat responsibility mong sumunod doon. Kasi hindi ka naman na bata, nababantayan eh. Dapat hindi na ganun yung mindset. Kasi pag sinira mo ang trust ng manager mo, then here comes HR, tatawagan ng manager, pakitanggal mo na si ganito, nahuli namin natutulog, or 4 hours non-productive. Kasi natitrace yan eh, yung activity mo sa computer mo, nakikita yan. So, alam mo, not only policies and procedures, but sa sarili mo eh, disiplina yan eh. It's not for everyone. Work from home is not for everyone kasi disiplina yan.
Yes.
And then you're isolated. Most of the time, you're alone. You're working at night, mag-isa ka. So, kaya mo bang ganun? Mamomotivate mo ba sarili mo daily? No, mahirap din yon, ano? So, dapat may policy ka, dapat may mga technology ka to ensure that seamless ang process na gagawin mo. If you're taking customer calls from home, walang ingay, maganda yung technology mo, malakas yung internet mo, hindi pa putol-putol, diba? Ang dami mong i-consider talaga kasi that's how we're doing it right now. And then likewise, yung taong hinahire mo ay trustworthy. Hindi yung masakit sa ulo na after 1 week, nabalitaan mo na lang, pag tinawagan mo, nasan ka? I'm having my lunch, pero narinig mo, nasa club na pala siya. Nangyari yun, ha? I mean, these are facts. Tinawagan siya ng manager niya. Where are you? Kasi tinatawagan ka namin sa bahay mo. Dapat walang background. Ay, kumakain lang ako. Yung pala, ay andun. Dun sa isang club na sa isang lugar. Diba? So, these are funny stories, but they're real. They're real eh. Kasi that comes with the hybrid model na nakakatrabaho ka anywhere. Pero dapat gawin mo rin yung trabaho mo. As I've said, overall, it's not for everyone, but you have to have the right technology. You have to have the right people, trained leaders, and policies and procedures that can enable productivity and likewise trust in a hybrid environment. In fact, this is my topic. This is going to be my topic in the CHRO event. This is something that I would love to talk about. One more thing I want to add. Worldwide, may mga studies na ginagawa na 4 days a week na lang ang work. And I'm proud to say my company has one department na 4 days a week sila. So, 10-4, meaning kung 8-5 tayo, 8 hours, 5 days a week, sila 10-4. Mas mahaba lang, or 12-4 sila, kasi prolonged hours sila, pero wala ka nang pasok ng Monday or Friday.
3 days off.
3 days off ka. Yeah. So, as I've said, it's just in one group that we're doing this, but it's not applicable for everyone, no? But it's something that based on those countries like Japan, some European countries have started this. Effective siya. Kasi mas happy yung empleyado, mas because we're not really built to work 8 hours sa totoo lang, 'di ba? We have, honestly, deep work happens 2 to 3 hours lang a day. Deep work yon. So, pag mas mahaba yung break mo, then it gives you more opportunity to take care of yourself. So, hybrid and 4 days a week, these are things that you can discover if you're in HR. But you have to have the right, factors to be placed bago mo gawin yon.
Understood. So, yun muna. I won't take or ask so much because itatakan mo pa yan para sa mga listeners natin. Okay, so Dr. Fabi, this has been such a very, very insightful conversation. So from the evolution of HR and collegiate powerhouse, physical and mental wellness.
If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and stay tuned for more exciting episodes featuring industry leaders from around the globe. Until next time, stay curious and keep innovating.